Hi, this is Jessica with DIY Studio, and today we're going to be making these adorable light bulb terrariums. This is actually part of the 12 Days of Christmas series that we're doing, showing you how to make homemade gifts that are so much fun to make, and they're also going to be fantastic gifts to give to loved ones. So come over to the workbench and let's get started. So let me show you all the materials that you'll need to make your great terrarium. First, you're going to need a light bulb. And this light bulb is just a burnt out light bulb that's basic, a light bulb. It doesn't matter really the wattage. Just make sure it's a regular light bulb and it's not a fluorescent light bulb, because the insides of that can be toxic. Then you'll also need a pair of cutters, wire cutters, some needle nose pliers, some tweezers, and then that will help you get everything from the inside of the light bulb out and take it apart. And then to clean it, you'll need some kind of cloth or a napkin. Then you'll also need stuff to decorate the inside. You can use live moss if you like. I'm not very good at keeping plants alive, so I'm not going to use live moss. But I do have some packaged moss. It's actually called Super Moss that I got and picked up at the craft store. I have some basic gravel rocks that I have. They're pretty teeny. And then for trees, I think it's kind of fun to add some natural elements. I took these from my yard. They're actually berry bushes, and then I just take the berries off, cut the trees down to size. But pretty much what you want to think about is scale. And that scale is really important when you're doing something that's miniature like this. So keep everything really teeny and really tiny. You could even put like little small charms in there if you wanted. Maybe a little small charm of a house would be adorable. So be creative and kind of think of different things that you can put inside. Okay. The other thing that I forgot to tell you about were safety goggles. You need to be safe. You're going to be cutting open glass and pieces may just fly out into the air. So keep your eyes safe. And you know, they make a great fashion statement. So the first thing you want to do is pry open this little metal piece. It's not the easiest thing to pry open. That's why I use these needle nose wire cutters in order to get at it. And so I'm just getting the edge. Let's see. And you got to make sure you have your safety goggles. Still keep those on. Oh, it's prying apart right now, if you could see that. So keep on prying. So take your needle nose pliers and just start prying more and more until you remove this little plug. Next step is to remove this black piece on there. And it just kind of cracks and breaks off. So this one's proving to be a little bit more difficult. So what you could do is just cover it up with a towel. So when those pieces do fly like that, it's going to be contained. So I'm going to continue, take a grip, and twist to get that out. There, you see all of that black? That's out. Now the next thing to do is there is this piece right in here. It's almost like a insulated piece of glass. You could take a screwdriver and just push that into there. Once again, cover it up. That filament just broke. There we go. You hear that? Just jingle jangled in there, so we know it's broken. Oops. Things are flying in the studio. So, right now you can see that we just broke that inside little insulated part. Now we can start getting the filament out. It's this metal piece. I'm just going to start breaking that insulation a little bit more, that glass, with this. It's also a good idea to have your vacuum cleaner around after you're done with this, just to make sure if you have small children around, you don't want them picking up any of this glass pieces. Let's see what we can get out. Oh, we got out a bunch. I could still see the wire and the filament in there. So I'm going to take my needle nose pliers and pull it. There we go. Great, so we have it all cleaned out on the inside. We just need to clear off all this white coating. It's kind of like powder in there. I thought it would be some sort of paint, but it's actually not. It's super easy to remove. So what I do is just shove a piece of napkin in. You could also use a rag if you had one. And then I just twist it in little by little, and you can see it's kind of scraping away the insides. Now, if you want to get all the edges, you could stick something down, a long piece of wire or something. Insert that, and you can control where you want that fabric to rub up against. So now we have the bulb all cleared out and ready to go. Now for the fun part. We get to add the living elements, or at least the elements that look alive. So we can start with some rock, probably would be the best. Now if you're going to use actual living moss or plants, what you want to do is to add some activated carbon, and that's going to keep everything in your little ecosystem, your little terrarium, pretty fresh. It's going to stop it from molding, and it's going to keep the air healthy for your plant. So you'd want to add that when adding the gravel. And you can find it at places where they sell aquarium things or fish, and that's where you pick that up. Next, you just get your little moss. This moss is really cool. It's almost like a sponge. I'm just going to put it in. And this is when your tweezers come really in handy. You also want to think of how you're going to display it. Are you going to display it on its side like that, or up inverted? It all depends. So I'm going to display it kind of on its side because I think it's cute that way. So just put that there. And next I'm going to pick my tree. And by tree I mean branch from a bush. And you want something that looks really tree-like. I think this one does, with all of its little mini branches. My daughter saw it and she immediately thought it looked like a grape vine, and that could work too. So just be creative in what you choose. Take them with your pliers or your tweezers, slide it in, insert your tree till where you want it, and then you have a great looking terrarium. So here's your finished terrarium. I think it's DIY adorable, don't you? Merry Christmas.